Woo! What a freaking day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. It's fucking cold. Fucking sucks. But anyways, what is up? Who do we got here? Oh, that was the IT. Oh yeah, Madden 25 broadcast MPCW. Help with the hashtags. That is for sure. All right, let's go ahead and take this part out of here. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, there it is. Sorry, a little under the green influence at the moment. Just kind of trying to gather my thoughts here. It's been an interesting week 3. I will I will say that. The journalist is not happy with us. No,
Not at
not
all.
at us. She is very upset at us, and she has our lives are at jeopardy if we lose these games. These next week's games, because she's giving us another benefit of the doubt in her predictions. I've heard. We'll get to that a little later. So we're gonna see how this goes. So I hope everyone is enjoying their lovely weather they have. It's fucking cold. Hate it. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened with our predictions from last week. What about that first game right there, bro?
So we had the Wizards and the Cowboys, and the Wizards squeaked out a 23-20 victory. So it was very close.
That it was. That it was. And the fact that you and I chose the Wizards.
We did.
We had high hopes for the Wizards, and the Wizards again squeaked by, got that victory, and that was a very close game. What about that next game? That next game was the Black Knights going up against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals did not show up. They didn't show up at all. And the journalists, like I said, our lives are in jeopardy if we lose these games. These upcoming games, I should say. But the Black Knights marched right onto that field, kicked the living Cardinal ass out of them 49-7.
Should have been 49-0, but
There was a little
little luck and impatience by
yeah.
our head coach, but we won't talk about that.
yeah, we definitely won't talk about that. But why don't we talk about the Dragons?
The Dragons, they played the Falcons, and much like the Black Knights, the Dragons came in and completely dominated over the Falcons with a score of 42-10.
42-10, and the reason why they got the 10 is, if I recall, that they decided to go God mode at the end, thinking they were going to try to catch up. So they were making plays they should have made earlier in the game, capitalized. Their defense definitely wasn't there, and Patrick didn't get hurt. So I would have definitely won my first game if Patrick didn't get hurt in the third. No, my second game. It was the second game.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked. I would have won that one. But the 49ers and the Rams. Now, you chose the Dragons, and you got the victory. Of course, I couldn't choose anyone. I didn't choose you, and you destroyed them. So I appreciate that for proving me wrong. So the 49ers and the Rams. The 49ers definitely walked out with a victory on that one with the score of 37-10. Almost similar to the whole 42-10.
Right. If
they would have got some more points, they would have definitely got a they destroyed the Rams, which is very shocking. But the 49ers definitely walked out. I picked the Rams, Mason picked the Rams, and even the journalists picked the Rams, and 49ers are all like, nope.
We're proving you all wrong today.
Yes, we are. Now, what about the divisional matchup between the Patriots and the Jets?
So this was another very close game, as the first game was. But however, the Patriots remain undefeated and remain perfect because they squeaked out a 20-17 win over the Jets.
I picked the Jets. You picked the Jets. The journalist picked the Patriots, knowing that she lives with a Jets fan.
I mean, hey, you gotta pick right sometimes. And
we definitely did not. And the journalist got the point on that one, but otherwise, it was very close between our predictions. Hey, what up? What up? What up? How's it going? How is your day going? How's your day going? Hey, look, I know that familiar face.
Me too. Me too.
All right. So we will get to the top 5 games later on in the broadcast. We're going to go ahead and dig into some stats from this week. Let's talk about the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, shall we?
Well, we shall. Ladies and gentlemen, your offensive player of the week this week is none other than Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Black Knights.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
I wasn't going to try to type all that shit out.
And his stats, he had 11 receptions for 155 yards, and not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 touchdowns.
5 fucking touchdowns. Definitely 2. What was his name?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That guy. Definitely a guy I definitely don't want to deal with, apparently. So, other than that, or we could double team him. Try to see what we could do with that. Try to avoid you passing to him, because it seems like once he gets the football in his hands, he'll be able to score that touchdown.
Oh, for sure.
But the NFC Defensive Player of the Week actually does not shock me, especially with a 37-10 victory with the 49ers and the Rams. The Defensive Player of the Week goes to Fred Warner, and he had only 7 tackles and a sack. And if I correct, 1 interception. 1 interception in that same bracket.
Okay.
So he had an interception in that one, and that's pretty good. So that was Defensive Player of the Week. Why don't we talk about the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Mace?
Oh, the AFC Offensive Player you are very familiar with because he comes from your Dragons.
I'm so glad the Jets got rid of him.
Your running back, Breece Hall, and he had 32 carries, 236 yards with a 7.1 average, and 3 touchdowns.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby at all.
I love it. Love it. Good job to Breece Hall. Speaking of which, I can't pronounce his last name. What is his name? Isaiah
Pacheco, maybe?
Pacheco. I'm putting him on trade block. Throwing that out there.
Okay.
Definitely going to see what I can get from him. The AFC Defensive Player of the Week goes to Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals with 9 tackles and 3 sacks. Yeah, that dude was hungry for a quarterback.
Didn't you play them week 1?
I don't want to talk about it. I think it was week 2 because I played you week 1.
Week 2, yes.
Yep.
Week 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Patrick got hurt.
Anyways,
I think it was by that guy too, but I don't want to talk about it. But let's go ahead and talk about the team record so far. In the AFC East, a very shocking New England Patriots 3-0. Am I reading that correctly? They are 3-0.
Yeah.
Mac Jones still the quarterback? No, it's May, isn't it?
I think it's Drake May, the young rookie there.
Yeah, man. I got to figure out his stats to see how the hell are they winning. But they are 3-0. The Bills are 2-1. The Dolphins are 1-2, and not shocking. And the New York Jets are 0-3. I'm not shocked with that. Even with Aaron Rodgers, they can't even get a dub. And that's an AI. That's some fucked up shit. Let's talk about the AFC West, bro.
Alrighty, so at the AFC West, we got the Raiders holding the number 1 spot at 3-0. Right behind them, keeping it close, keeping it interesting, is the Dragons at 2-1. Behind them, you got the Broncos, who are sitting at 1-2, which I'm kind of shocked, but I'm kind of not. And then finishing out there is the Chargers at 0-3.
That's very shocking with the charge, isn't it?
I see what you did there.
They got to charge up their steam, that's for sure. The AFC South, now the Texans and the Jaguars, and if I'm correct, there's a reason why there is a reason why I put that as a freaking game. The Texans and the Jaguars both hold the division at 3-0. And right behind them, the Titans of 2-1 and the Colts 0-3. What about the North?
See, the AFC North is just right there with the AFC South and how tight it's going to be from the end of the season if it stays like this because the Bengals and the Steelers are holding that number one spot in the North with a record of 2-1. And then behind them, the Wizards sitting at 1-2.
They've had a few rough games.
Yes,
they rough
have,
games.
but
I have a lot of faith in them.
It's still an
once
early
that
season.
rhythm, once the rhythm starts kicking, I'm gonna be worried.
And then the Browns at 0-3.
Yeah, we got the Browns at 0-3. The NFC East, we have the Eagles, not shocking, at 3-0. Go Philly. The Commanders and the Giants are both 2-1, and the Cowboys 1-2. What about the NFC West?
The NFC West, we got the 49ers at 2-1. We got the Rams at 1-2. And then the Cardinals and Seahawks at 0-3.
Ouch. I really think they're going to lose again. I really do think they're going to lose. Just because after being, violated by the Black Knights. Mm-hmm. Wait, what? It was you, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, smoke another one, Austin. Don't mind if I do. Oh, sorry. So the NFC South, we got the Saints and the Bucks sitting at 2-1. Falcons and the Panthers sitting at 1-2. What about the NFC North?
Well, with the NFC North, you have the Black Knights holding it down at 2-1. Well, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. So we have a tie for the first spot between the Black Knights and the Bears, both sitting at 2-1.
Oh, that's spicy.
And then following behind us, we have the Vikings and the Packers, who are both sitting at 1-2.
That's still a game behind, still close in the division in a lot of these divisions, and really the undefeated teams right now is Patriots, Raiders, Texans, Jaguars, I think Eagles.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Right now the NFL passing leader in first place, shocking, he must have had one hell of a game with passing, with Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the Wizards, at 890 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, with a 65% completion rate. The second one is Caleb Williams from the Chicago Bears, with 818 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception, holding it at 62% completion rate. In third place, we got Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys, which I think the Cowboys are 1-2. Yeah, 1-2 right now, with 818 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, with a 70% completion rate. Let's talk about the quarterback with the most interceptions right now.
Oh boy, quarterback with the most interceptions, and I'm sorry, it doesn't shock me at all. Kyler Murray.
I wonder who helped with that.
With 8 of them.
I wonder how many interceptions you got on that game.
I don't know if I had any of that game, to be honest with you.
I gotta look that up at some point just to see.
Yeah, because now I'm curious.
Absolutely. But why don't we go ahead and talk about the NFL rushing leaders, my brother?
Alrighty. So, and first, we have Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs from the Black Knights, who has 310 yards, 4 touchdowns, and averages about 103.3 yards a game.
Oof.
So, from the looks of it, the Black Knights have been very, very run heavy, but also lean on the pass when they need it.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so in second,
this shouldn't shock you either as a Broncos fan.
Javonte Williams from the Denver Broncos. Again, like Austin said, doesn't surprise me too much.
Nope.
He's got 262 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he averages about 87.3 yards a game.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
And then rounding up and finishing off the rushing leaders, in third place, we have Kenneth Walker III from the Seattle Seahawks with 262 yards.
He's the third, and he's in third.
2 touchdowns and an average of 87.3 yards a game.
Not bad at all, which is kind of pretty shocking that they both have the same amount of yards. Just one has 2 more touchdowns than the other.
Right.
Pretty interesting. But rusher with the most fumbles. Let's talk about this for a second, guys. We when I saw this stat, I kind of laughed. So I had to put it on here. Patrick Mahomes from the Dragons and Lamar Jackson from the Wizards, both with 2 fumbles of the season, and they both literally lead in first with the most fumbles of the season so far. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The NFL receiving leaders, which I realize we have not talked about this the last few weeks, so I think it's time to really put it out there. In first place, we got Amon Ra. What the fuck is it? Amon Ra St. Brown from the Black Knights with 394 yards and 6 touchdowns.
5 of those in one game, may I add.
Yes. Keep that up, and he's gonna be breaking some records. Second place, we got Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers with 265 yards and 3 touchdowns. In third place, we got Quez Watkins from the Wizards with 254 yards and a TD. What about the most sacks?
Oh boy!
I wanted you to read this because someone's creeping up on you.
As a defensive player, your main goal is to get to the quarterback, and these 2 men specifically, are obviously doing their thing because Marcus Davenport from the Black Knights, and I say now because for the first 2 weeks it was just Marcus, the lone holder. But Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders, both are tied with 5 sacks.
That's a lot of sacks. They must be sacking it up in the locker room. Anyways, in first place with the most interceptions is actually tied. We got Darius Slay Jr. from the Philadelphia Eagles and Fred Warner from the 49ers, both tied with 3 interceptions. Let's talk about the top punt returner, my brother.
The top punt returner is Darius Davis with 46 yards and a 7.7.
Not a lot of people in our leagues doing that good in punting. Not at all. But that kick return is a whole different thing. Xavier Worthy from the Dragons with 281 yards and still holds right now the longest kick of the season with 50 yards. Our longest kick return. All right. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go back into our top games of week 4. This week, we got the Dragons versus the Chargers. That game's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, the Chargers I think they're 0-3. Yep. So I should be able to beat them. Should. We'll find that out momentarily. But that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm really hoping I walk out with a victory. I'm really hoping I can walk in, go in there, do what I did to my last opponent, and prove it. Prove what I got, prove what we have, and keep pushing. So what do you think? Do you think the Dragons are going to do it, or do you think the Chargers are going to come out with the random Vic?
Oh, I think I got my money on the Dragons. After seeing what they were capable of last week, to not only go into a hostile environment being Atlanta, but also coming out with such a dominant win on both ends of the ball. So I think the Dragons are going to keep that momentum and...
Hey, Cookie, can I have a pen, please?
Beat the Chargers.
Absolutely. Our second game of this week is the Bills versus the Wizards. This is going to be interesting. The Bills are 2-1 right now. They're a game behind from the Patriots. Josh Allen is one heck of a quarterback to, deal with, even as going against Josh Allen. So I'm hoping the Wizards do come out with a victory, but if I were to put money on it, I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm really hoping that he proves me wrong, just like how you proved me wrong.
See, well, then he's got to prove both of us wrong, my dear brother. I think Buffalo's going to come back after taking that loss, and they're going to come back with a little vengeance, and they're not going to care who is on the other side of that field. They're coming for the win. So I'm picking the Bills as well.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about the Seahawks versus the Black Knights. I really do think the Black Knights are going to walk out with the victory on that one. Hold on 1 second. Definitely. I really do think you got that game against the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks right now are 0-3, so you should have no issue beating them. If you
I
do,
hope not.
Madden hates you. That's why.
Mhm.
There's days you log on to that game and you go, "Why did I even bother?" But yeah, really prove me wrong on that one, or prove me right that I chose you and switched my answer from previous, because I was gonna go with the Seahawks, but I don't know, something in my heart changed
I
that.
was going to say you learned the lesson.
Yep. Now, before I talk about what I think is going to be the game of the week, we're going to talk about the Browns versus the Raiders. The reason why I chose this is we got the underdog going up against a team that's 3-0. We got an 0-3 going up against a 3-0. Do you think the Browns are going to come out with a shocking victory? Or do you think the Raiders are going to crush them?
See, I like playing upset, so I'm going with the Browns. I think the Browns are. This is going to be a trap game for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Raiders see that 0-3. They're going to walk in with the thought of, oh, this is going to be an easy win. We're going to smoke these fools. And then Cleveland's going to be like, no, no, no.
Can you imagine if the 0-3 teams beat the 3-0 teams?
Something I've learned in football, anything is possible.
That is true. So let's talk about, I think, the game of the week. The game of the week is going to go with both teams that are 3-0. And that is the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Texans. I really think the Texans are going to come out with a victory, upset the Jaguars, and take over the division. They are on fire. Jaguars, I don't know. I haven't really paid much attention to their stats, but I know the Texans have been brought up on a few of our top games of the week. So I really think the Texans are going to walk out victorious on that one. What do you think?
I got to agree. Like you said, you know, we've seen CJ Stroud get that offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to continue to do his thing and finally just take over that division and put a stranglehold on it. So
Absolutely. All right, folks, make sure to tune in for week 4 here on the YouTube channel. And you can also go to Twitch and watch True Patriot to go on and play his game on his Twitch. The journalist, before we go, the journalist picked the Dragons, the Black Knights, the Bills, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. So let's see who walks out. Have a wonderful time. Thank y'all for your Madden lovers. Make sure to tune in, share the broadcast, share the love. Thank y'all. Whoop, whoop.